Mindset, the new psychology of success. A book by Carl Dweck, has been a favorite of mine since the day I read it. But there's just one word that never fails to amuse me, and it's this word, communication. This word is easy to read and easy to spell, but at least, according to me, it has a meaning deeper than the seven seas. But let's all dive into a thought experiment together. Imagine yourself in a world where the family structure that you're born in has an influence in the way you communicate from the very beginning. And guess what? This imagination isn't far from reality. But before I go in deeper, let's ensure that we are all on the same page here. So, by the quick show of hands, who here knows the difference between a joint and a nuclear family? And no, a nuclear family is not something related to the bomb. Whoa, there's a lot of hands. But for the people who don't know, let me explain. A nuclear family, I think, is what most of us are in. The father, the mother, the child, and his or her siblings under a single roof as a single unit. That's what we call a nuclear family. But now let's turn our attention to joint families, and oh boy, the amount of stories that my parents have told me about about their childhood in a joint family and how they did this and did that with their cousins and siblings. At this point, it's endless. I've completely lost count. But essentially, a joint family means your extended family. Starting from your cousins all the way up to your grandparents. They're all in that household as a combined unit, like the name suggests. So basically speaking, those cousins that you met when you were 3, but kind of met them again, well, they won't be distant when you're in a joint family. Ladies and gentlemen, the word distant never makes the cut when you're in a joint family. But now, I think we are all on the same page here. So, the talk divide. Something that is overlooked and divided at the first glance. And with it comes the claim that children from a joint family are much more outgoing and social as compared to the ones in a nuclear family. And one of the most obvious reasons I can point out right now is the fact that the children from a joint family are surrounded by people, I say. They're in such a surrounding where this thing of social anxiety or fear isn't a big deal for them. As compared to the typical nuclear family, well, though we do go out, we still tend to stay outdoors, and the surroundings is not as much as compared to the joint. But now, okay, another question that might be flying across your mind right now is there any study or research that has gone into this to prove my point? And well, according to my sources here, yes, there is a comparative study on joint versus nuclear family regarding social and language development among preschool children. 3 researchers in Gujarat exactly did this. They took about 300 children. Amongst them, 150 were from nuclear, the other 150 were from joint. They've done various tests on them, and there's a reason why they are taken preschool children. At that age is when you can get the most efficient results. Children are grasping the most at that time. So they are decided to go on for preschool children. And well, they've done various tests such as an image test, going to a storytelling test, and all the way up to a normal conversation so that, they can get the most result from this. And towards the end, they concluded the fact that children from a joint family were having a higher percentage in socializing and in development of language as compared to the ones in nuclear families. Aren't these studies and researches the things that help us people answer the smallest question that comes to our mind, starting from what is the Prince Rupert's drop all the way up to something of a magnitude like what I'm talking about? Regardless of this influence I've been talking about the whole time, it's all about what's happening here, the mind. Your mind is the one that's creating these visualizations of social anxiety or fear that disables you to walk that one step ahead. What I've just said here is a factor that I believe is a reason to this. But at the end of the day, you are the only one who can change yourself, and you are the only one who can adapt to your surroundings. You all know what video games are, right? So, like a video game, we reach the really end, we see the boss. We challenge him to a battle, we beat the boss, and open those doors to achieve victory. Similarly, challenge your mind to a game. A game where you beat him and then open those doors to victory. And ladies and gentlemen, what you just done there isn't a small feat because you have just won over your mind. Anything and everything that can come across you, you can overcome. Why? You just won over your mind. And on that note, I'd like to end my TED speech here. Thank you all for listening. I hope you heard a thing or two from me today. Have a nice day.